Hello and welcome to the HQ Movie Review Podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
And this week we watched Over the Hedge.
Yes.
How the gentle wind beckons through the trees.
You know, it is getting that time of year.
Nothing like a
seasons are
good
changing.
over the garden wall watch through.
Oh,
Really
man.
makes me wish I lived in a place with seasons.
My favorite part of the movie was when Wirt and Greg sang Potatoes and Molasses with all the animals in the school.
I like the part where the dog was like not possessed. That was cool.
Yeah, that was fun. He just ate the turtle.
We're going over a lot of shit that I barely remember.
I'm over here like I haven't even seen it. I'm just like,
I know what they're talking about.
You haven't
But
seen Over the Garden Wall?
No, I haven't seen
I
Over
don't
the
remember it
Garden
enough to make
That's
any
what-
comments.
That's what we just watched, Over the Garden Wall.
It's a yearly watch. It's like autumn now, sort of.
It's time for the seasonal watch through.
Yeah.
And that's what we did, and that's why we're doing our podcast on it.
Yeah, I strongly feel like we should do that. But that is absolutely not what we watched. We watched the 2006 movie Over the Hedge, in which none of the characters go over the hedge. They go through it.
Hammy went over the hedge at one point.
Yeah.
They went over the hedge that one time when the wagon turned into a rocket.
Vincent went over the hedge.
Alright, you know what? These are fair critiques.
I bet this movie would have really popped off if they let Wes Anderson do it.
Oh yeah, it would be stop motion.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Good.
I don't know, honestly, that might have held up better than this animation here.
Yeah, the CG was pretty good for the time. It has not aged as gracefully as maybe some other things.
Like, I'll be honest, it's not terrible. What really threw off everything was the faces.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
They made some choices.
they did.
The face animation for all of the characters, in particular every human in the entire movie.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Humans were the worst, but even the animals.
the Verminator actually was pretty great the whole time. The whole way
Oh,
through.
you mean the brother of the guy from Toy Story 2?
Dwayne La Fontaine.
Botón.
Yeah, but no, he was his animation's great. God, I cannot remember the name of the woman who owns the house.
Karen.
It's not.
I know it's not,
It's
but
Gladys.
it's Karen.
Her name was Gladys.
That tracks.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, because she has the vanity plate with Gladys and then money signs afterward because
Yeah.
you know.
Did you guys watch the LuLaRoe documentary? I swear this has a point that ties in.
I have not.
No.
No.
Well, one of the things that they were talking about, one of the people bought matching cars for her and her husband with one of her LuLaRoe bonus checks and made the vanity plates LuLaRoe with with the 3
Okay.
as the E, and then LuLaBro for her husband.
I guess.
God
And
damn it.
that's all
Gosh.
that I could think about when I saw the Gladys $$ vanity plate.
Yeah, that's fair. That tracks.
So I do want to say that this is one of the few movies on our list that I've actually seen before,
Uh-huh.
and this movie in particular, I distinctly remember it being one of the movies I watched the most as a child.
Incorrect. That would be Finding Nemo.
She said one of.
Okay, to be fair, I also said it's the one I remember watching the most. I do not remember making you watch Finding Nemo over and over again.
Just like Dory.
Yeah, you may not remember it, but I remember every word of Finding Nemo.
So, honestly, this is also a movie I watched a lot, but it's because my oldest nephew watched this movie all the time, and so I watched it with him. But, I mean, it wasn't like oh, you're watching this, I guess I have to. I also very much enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. Let's talk about this cast here. Like,
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
for
the
real.
cast.
Absolutely.
Bruce Willis, Steve Carell, William Shatner, several other people who are not listed on the Prime Video page for the movie.
Avril Lavigne?
Avril Lavigne.
No, man, we gotta go to
Wanda
IMDb.
Sykes. Why is she the only supporting actor listed? That's really
I
weird.
don't know.
I actually really want to look at these Amazon reviews. So we've got this 5 stars. I want to know the 1 star. Is there a 1
okay,
star?
we're just
There's
We're just
1%
starting.
show
one
me,
star.
show me the.
There it
There it
is.
is.
There it is.
Very poor quality. I love this movie and bought it for my grandchildren to watch, but this DVD is such low quality that it is like watching through a fishbowl. It also has subtitles that can't be turned off. It states it was made in Mexico, and I suspect from the poor quality that it is a bootleg. It is a shame that Amazon not only missed that, but has it listed as an Amazon choice. I am returning it and 2 others that haven't been opened since they came from the same source and I suspect are just as bad. That's not a really good review of the movie itself, but
That
I get where you're
does
coming
kind
from,
of track
Rebecca.
for like bootleg movies. Can't turn off subtitles.
Yeah, because
Looks like it was recorded through a fishbowl, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to point out that this was reviewed on February 16th, 2021.
2021.
Oh
Wow.
no.
This is this year.
Oh no.
Becca, no.
Rebecca M., why are you buying your grandchildren Over the Hedge in the year 2021?
There's
Because
so
it's a
many
classic.
other children movies that they could be watching.
For real, though.
Like Finding Nemo.
yeah.
Are we gonna have to mute this person's name? Their review is like just public online.
We didn't say their last name.
True, we didn't. That could be anyone.
How many Rebeccas really are there in the world?
At least 5.
Well,
So anyway,
We're at the top of the movie. RJ starts out as like the avatar of greed.
for real.
Yeah.
Like he starts off as like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go steal a little bit, and then he ends up stealing everything.
Only take what you need. Steals all of it.
Yeah, and then he's about to get away with it. He's already like out the door, and then he just can't let the
He can't let go of those buddies, man.
buddies. That's what it was.
'Cause with
Enough
Spuddies-
is never enough.
Enough is never enough.
Couldn't do it, and then he still would have gotten away.
But he had to open
He
it.
had to open it right there, and that's the tipping point. That's what gets him caught.
Funny thing is, he definitely couldn't have eaten all of that in like a week. So
No.
Vincent would have just woken up and like, my food's gone. I'm just gonna follow the scent trail till I find whoever stole it and then eat them.
because he found him at the suburbs that easily, too.
Yeah. Like Vincent woke up and within a day was there. And I mean, I know it wasn't a long hike, but he didn't know where RJ was going. He just woke up and was like, well, RJ's in this direction. Better go kill him.
I mean, bears are pretty good trackers.
Yeah, no, I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying, like, RJ did not think this through.
How
Oh, yeah.
far do you think RJ would have needed to get in a week in order to be too far away for Vincent to get him?
Well, honestly, from what I understand, bears are very territorial. So if you just got out of his territory, you
Yeah.
probably would not go out looking for him.
If you found another bear and just lived near them, you probably wouldn't have been good.
Yeah, go steal from another bear.
Like,
Nope, no.
I'm just saying, he lived at a rest stop. He could have gotten on a stopped vehicle, like either the tailgate or like the bed of a truck or something, and gotten just straight out of Dodge.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been the smarter play,
I
because he
feel
knew
like
that he wasn't going to be able to get all of that in a week.
so. I think a key word in that sentence was smart, and that is something that cannot be applied to any character in this
Yeah.
entire movie.
No.
RJ is a good salesman. I don't know if I would say smart.
He had several successful grifts.
He is clever.
Successful, not smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very clever. He's quick-witted. I would not say smart.
He would be a Slytherin, not a Ravenclaw.
I mean, literally all of the animals, not smart. None of them.
Yeah.
Not a single animal smart. Bear's dumb.
But
RJ's
don't call
dumb.
him stupid. They will abandon you. They will kick you out of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid and naive.
Ignorant.
Ignorant.
Imagine if they had Vin Diesel in this movie.
Family.
Family.
They would have just been racing the wagon.
They did.
Racing humans for pink slips.
They did. They went to the moon first. They took a rocket car before Fast and the Furious did.
Over the Hedge did a propane propelled rocket wagon so that Fast and Furious could do whatever the hell they've been doing for 9 movies.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen the last movie yet, although I will. But I don't know what they're doing with the rocket strapped to the car, and I'm very interested to see.
They're recreating that exact scene from Over the Hedge.
You mean like how X-Men recreated the Quicksilver scene from Over the Hedge?
I like how we call it the Quicksilver scene.
Yeah, it's the hammy scene.
Exactly. Hey, we absolutely. This is 2006.
Yeah,
Like, this is way before that.
this definitely predates Days of Future Past. Time in the Bottle scene? Nope, it's the hammy scene.
Like, it's so identical too.
It's just the same.
Now the real question is, when did Futurama come out with the episode where Fry drinks 100 cups of coffee? Because that's
Who did it first? Who did any of it first?
probably The Simpsons.
Probably.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. 2006 is pretty early on. That's-
Like in general, or
well, I mean, like, you know, as far as of the options outside of Simpsons.
yeah.
Like, I don't remember when Futurama started airing, but I feel like 2006 is pretty early for that.
Well, while someone looks that up, oh, I did want to mention that I don't know if it's a little known fact. It's probably not a little known fact, but like this movie is a comic adaptation. So,
Yeah.
So that's one. It's based off of like a newspaper comic strip, and they do kind of allude to that during the credits, where the characters come out and they like show drawings of the comic. But I thought that was interesting. It's based on the comic where Vern and RJ are just the main characters, and it's just they're not like specifically stealing food. It's just them dealing with suburbia being next door, and that's the whole thing.
So you're telling me that this movie I watched was not a allegory on taking over wild spaces and then being upset that the wilderness is still there?
I mean, it is now.
Update on the Futurama thing. So, apparently Futurama first aired in 1999.
Yeah, that's when Fry, got stuck in the cryogenic chamber, and then
Yeah.
the pilot episode.
So way earlier than I thought. But Fried Drinking Coffee apparently didn't air until 2015.
so it's the hammy scene.
It's the hammy
The
scene.
hammy scene.
It's definitely the hammy scene.
Did The Simpsons do it ever?
That I don't know.
Once again, probably.
Man, I can't believe so many people stole from Over the Hedge.
Right?
Over the Hedge is the source code for all modern cinema.
Well, when you have the starring actors like Steve Carell and Bruce Willis.
James Tiberius Kirk is just here.
Yeah. It's of course it's gonna be one of the building blocks of, cinema.
Society.
Society, okay.
Civilization.
Goodness.
It's got everything. Family, theft, drama, bears. What more could you ask for? Also, the lovely cliche of turning on the TV and, like, getting very thematically appropriate things.
Yeah. And also that good THX.
Oh gosh.
Real good THX
The
reference.
THX reference.
Oh,
The
man.
loudest sound known to man.
Who hasn't had their face blasted off by the THX music?
I still remember the first time I ever heard that. It was watching the original Star Wars.
Honestly, I think that was also the first time I've ever heard that sound.
Like, I just have a vivid memory of it because this was like right before Phantom Menace came out in the movie theaters, and we were at the store, and my dad bought the original trilogy collection set on VHS.
Oh, we still have it.
I know we do.
Are
Oh.
those? Hang on. Are those the ones that have like the good endings? The secret menu, unedited, unremastered original trilogy?
This is
It's on VHS.
not. This is untouched.
It's
This
on
was the
VHS, there's no menu.
VHS's.
I love that.
Oh yeah.
That's nice. See, I had the collector's like DVD set. Those were edited.
Oh yeah.
It's
When you got the
unfortunate.
DVDs were edited.
Yeah. Also, like on an unrelated note, I had a collector set for the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and those like were designed together. Even though like the sequel trilogy wasn't out yet, but they were still designed to get like fully out. They were still designed together, so like it's like if you look at the like the spines of the DVD case, they all look the same. The original trilogy is silver, the sequel trilogy is gold. The prequel trilogy is gold. The sequel trilogy was not designed as a part of that set, and so those DVDs look different. And
That's upsetting.
I'm very upset by that. I don't have any of those DVDs with me, nor do I use DVDs in my everyday life. But I really wish.
Do you know what I'm gonna spend money on someday? And I just know this. I don't know when it's gonna happen. And Disney, if you're listening and it comes out and I said this, I want a cut. They're absolutely going to make a complete Skywalker Saga DVD set. But it's going to come in a fancy limited edition box, and that limited edition box is going to look like the Jedi box that they kept Luke and Leia's sabers in for the May the 4th release.
Oh yeah.
Because when they did Phase 1 after the Avengers came out, they made a Shield briefcase entire Phase 1 DVD
Yeah.
collection.
Now hear me out. What if the case it came in was just R2D2?
I would lose my absolute mind. There is nothing that you could put between me and that it would not be my possession.
Exactly.
He's even round like DVDs are.
He's got like little buttons down the side. You push it and he goes boop, 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 and then he just sticks
Yeah.
the DVD out.
It's perfect.
Oh my god.
He could curse on you in real life.
Where's the Chopper set? That's the question.
It's the
Dang.
Chopper, the Rebels box set, but it's Chopper, and every time you try and watch one of the DVDs, he stabs you.
So anyway, Over the Hedge.
Over the Hedge.
So I've got some trivia.
Okay.
So when we were watching the credits, I mentioned how long the credits were. So it took a crew of 237 more than 3 years to make this film.
Yeah, animation was
tracks.
hard back then.
That tracks.
Yeah.
It's hard now, but it's harder then.
Also, the art department went to a bowling alley to sketch the design of the perfect vending machine. They went into various supermarkets to sketch chip bags and bottles. They eventually got kicked out of a Safeway because the manager felt uncomfortable with them being there for such an extended amount of time.
I mean, that's fair, but also like they did a good job. They
Yeah.
all those were some solid like parody food items.
They couldn't just buy a thing of Pringles and take it home.
No,
I would have kicked them out of my Safeway too. Buy something or get out.
Yeah.
It's not a library.
Like this is
You're not gonna go buy
a
them?
charity. This is not a live art reference class. This is my store that I need to work at to make my rent. Buy the chips or stop drawing them.
Sir, this is a Wendy's.
They did a very good job on that vending machine. That was very.
Yeah, they did.
It was a
Very
very
realistic.
good vending machine.
Did they actually bowl? Did they support the businesses that they benefited from?
Clearly not if they're
I'm
getting kicked
out
out.
here trying to cancel Over the Hedge. In this essay,
Jeez.
Speaking of canceling things, do you guys think it's weird that like skunks and cats keep getting like romantically connected? Like
Yeah.
I have 2 examples, but it's weird that it happened twice. You know,
yeah.
like there's this, and there's Pepe Le Pew and that poor cat that he just constantly like terrorizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild that that's a thing.
Also, in this movie, he's like RJ specifically references her like is talking to her, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna be like a fox, and I'm just like, that's a third species altogether.
Yeah, Josh, you said that during the movie, and no one laughed then.
All
I
right.
really thought you were just gonna let that one go.
Nope.
I thought it was really interesting how in the movie, RJ told the skunk character that she was going to be a fox, but then became a cat.
All right, I'm out.
And that was the third animal. Since no one had mentioned it yet, I just thought I would bring it up.
Yeah, no, I thought it was really interesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, this movie had some crazy jokes and references for a kids movie.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, specifically, what I'm talking about is the cork.
Yeah.
Gosh, the cork.
Like,
Also, go ahead.
no, that's the cork. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, he's still talking. What else he's gonna say?
They just put a cork in this woman, and they were like, "Yep, that's the joke for the family."
Yeah. Also,
good.
Auto Homicide 3.
That sounds like a video game children would play.
I feel
I mean,
like
it's just Grand Theft Auto 3,
Yeah.
but still.
It's definitely Twisted Metal, but continue.
I mean, the design of it, but the name is definitely based off Grand Theft
Yeah,
Auto.
it is. Twisted Metal doesn't get enough respect these days.
So, when was Shrek made?
before this.
Yeah,
2003, I think. Or was it 2001?
Shrek was the first thing they did after splitting from Disney.
Gotcha. Okay, so this was definitely after the Shrek times.
I mean, it's always
It's-
the Shrek times.
It's always Shrek time.
Shrek is love, Josh.
Gosh.
Shrek is life.
Anyway. Still think it's just really funny how the Shrek movie was very much like an FU to Disney. Like, Farquaad, one, his name. It's, you know what that is. But also, he looks like the president at the time of Disney. And they named him Farquaad. and Dula is very clearly just Disney, but it's just Disney.
Yeah.
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 So long lines and spotless.
I brought up Shrek because I was going to mention there are some adult jokes in Shrek as well, but I feel like they did a better job of integrating those.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this movie, it was just like, hey, here's a very blatantly adult jokes.
Here's a reference the kids will not get, but it's not hidden so well that they won't notice they don't get it. I mean, I guess like the rosebud thing was very much like, oh, there's rosebuds there. That's it. But also, if you're a kid and you're watching this, you don't get it, but you don't know it's a joke. You're just like, oh, that's
This is
weird.
weird.
He saw some rosebuds and he said rosebud and he pretended to die. It's not a good reference.
Yeah.
What's funny though. So I think we haven't really talked about Vincent. The sort of like he starts out as the main antagonist and then doesn't show up again to the end. So he's
Yeah.
really just kind of like the third antagonist. But like, as he starts out as the antagonist, but he's not really a villain at the start. He's a guy who was getting robbed and was like, "Hey, give me my stuff back, you thief." So it's a really good thing that he turned out to be a jerk at the end.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's not as much a bad guy as much of it's just like if two criminals were interacting.
Yeah, like he's not a good guy, but like he wakes up and is being robbed, and then he catches the guy. He's like, "Hey, you need to give me my stuff back by the time I wake up." And like
Or
he does
I'll
threaten to kill
you.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's wild how much they say "kill" in this children's movie.
We did jump very, very quickly in this movie towards violent murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is very much just a petty criminal becoming indebted to the mob and going on a wacky adventure with people he's roped into helping him unknowingly, and then finding a found family with these people, and then ultimately saying F you to the mobster. That is the story.
Very similar to Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls. But RJ's a better salesman is the issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like Vincent is rightfully angry to be like, hey, you've stolen from me. And then he shows up at the end and he's like, ah, yes, good. You've needlessly caused pain in these people's life. You're just like me. And then it's like, okay, well, now when he gets his comeuppance, he fully deserves it.
Also, if he didn't say that, RJ would have just left.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Because he had to gloat. Like, he was like, ah, yes, you're a villain like me. And then RJ was like, well, what if I want to be a hero? If he had just been like, all right, cool, thanks, and then he left, that would have been it.
Yeah. RJ would have felt bad later, I'm sure, but he wouldn't have, like, he wouldn't have stolen the food back to go do that. He would have just walked off and been like, oh no, I need to go. And then he would have missed him and they would be dead.
I mean, he definitely felt bad the whole time he was leading the wagon away, he felt bad. But yeah, he definitely wouldn't have acted on it at that moment. He would have just been like, I wish there was something I could do about this. And then he would have just kept going. Just walked off into the sunset.
I'd say maybe if he got, if he felt bad enough, he might try to run after him, but then he wouldn't have the wagon and then he wouldn't be able to catch up.
And then they would have been verminated.
Yeah.
Not the Deep Pelter Turbo 5000.
It's illegal in every state except Texas.
Except Texas.
That
With
makes
hand
sense.
over heart.
Man, that joke has aged perfectly.
Like fine wine.
I was gonna say that, but I'm not the most qualified. Has it aged like fine wine, Rachel?
Yes.
Professional opinion over here.
Yeah.
As the Psalm in the room.
You've heard it here first. This joke, real good. So, while we're on the topic of the movie, I did want to mention the soundtrack, which is just all Ben Folds.
Yeah.
A lot of Ben Folds music.
That was the way DreamWorks did it back then, though. They picked an artist and they said, "Give us a soundtrack."
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the way the animators did it.
It was, hey, write an album. Here's the general theme of the movie. Here's a couple things you might want to, think about for a couple songs. And we'll take your whole album and just shove it in the movie.
It's a 5-song album. It's
It's a
5-song
mini album.
but it's good.
It's an ED.
They're all good songs. I know he wrote 3 of them for the movie. I don't know about Lost in the Supermarket, and I know for sure that Rockin the Suburbs was a song that he had for a long time that they just reused for the movie and then rewrote completely.
Yeah.
I seriously doubt that a song called Lost in the Supermarket was made for anything else other than this movie.
They don't even go to a supermarket in the movie,
That was
though.
a cutscene. It was cut.
Source?
Are you
Source?
just saying
Let me
that?
source?
Yes, I am just saying. That's,
Okay. You said it with such
Source?
conviction. I was like, oh,
Like,
okay, he knows
honestly.
something I don't. But yeah, no, Rockin the Suburbs. Rockin the Suburbs is a song that Ben Folds just had with a lot of swearing in it. And they're like, hey, we like the chorus of this song, but not even all of the chorus, just the words Rockin the Suburbs. Can you rewrite everything else? And then he did. And the funny thing is, the version of the song, that's like the full version, not the one from the credits, has a part where William Shatner just talks as if he's one of the neighbors in the neighborhood and he's chastising you about your dog.
what?
Yeah. Like the song just kind of stopped. Like the music keeps going, but there's like a good 30-second segment where William Shatner is just like, hi, it's me, your neighbor. I'm here to talk to you about your dog and your garbage. And like your dog's been knocking over people's garbage cans. And I have pictures of it. And I'm going to email them to you about your, like, he just gets really angry and yells at you about your dog for 30 seconds. And then the song just continues.
Did they just record William Shatner talking to his neighbor?
I don't like it's really great. We should listen to it after this.
Okay. There was a Wilhelm Scream in this movie.
Oh, I missed it.
It was when the dragonfly flies into the bug zapper. when Vern first goes over.
I think they
To the
did.
suburbs.
They pitch shift it.
They did.
They definitely
Okay,
did.
that's why.
I saw that in the trivia. I was like, there's no way we missed a Wilhelm Scream. No way.
Yeah, we call out Clan Wilhelm whenever we see them. More accurately, whenever we hear them.
Yeah. I mean, I called out the Star Wars like machine death noise.
Oh
It does
yeah,
get reused a lot.
it does.
It's not an adult joke, but I did think it was wild when like they make a joke about like they've got food out the wazoo, and you know out the wazoo is just like a phrase people say without an actual meaning.
Yeah, wazoo
And-
doesn't mean anything.
And then later, like Vern picks up a diaper, and RJ's like, "That's a diaper. It does come out of wazoo." And instantly, wazoo means butthole now. He just did that.
Sorry, I'm very no thoughts head empty about this movie.
It is a movie that you just kind of sit and watch. Like, I struggled to take the notes that I did because like it really is just a movie that almost watches you, which is kind of poetic based on like what they say about humans, but also I don't think was entirely their intention.
Yeah, it's a movie that has very little substance.
Yeah, like there's no real deeper meaning to this movie.
Oh man, it's got real negative all of a sudden.
I will say that this movie is very weird for me to watch. Just by the fact that one of the characters has the same name as me.
Was it Ozzy?
No! Stop! That just made it so much worse. But anytime they said Heather, I was like, oh gosh, they're not talking to me.
Oh no, Heather died.
Man, I can't believe I just died.
Got kicked across the room by a Karen.
I honestly felt really called out this whole movie, not gonna lie.
Yeah, this movie had, it was a very simple
Premise?
premise. Thank you. I was forgetting the word. It had a very simple premise, and there was nothing deeper to it. Everything was face value. All the characters just kind of did their thing. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. I thought the music was good. The animation was subpar, but
It was good for the time.
for the time, it was good.
In fact, a lot of it still holds up pretty well. It's just some of the choices they made in the animation that was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like honestly, all the like actual character motions and stuff, I felt like was okay, fine aside from a couple key points. But what really threw it off was the facial animation for me. But
And I mean, yeah, that's really just the fault of the times.
yeah,
Too,
And I-
like, it doesn't feel like there was any like real like technical failure here, just as much as like it was early days of computer 3D animation.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can't blame them for any of that. That's
Yeah.
like a product of its time. But it being 2021, I do have to bring that up.
You're used to all that good animation nowadays.
Yeah.
Spoiled.
But yeah, it wasn't bad. It's a movie that I'm going to get up in the morning tomorrow and completely forgot that I watched it today.
Yeah, that's fair.
You always just forget movie nights?
I mean, I do, I'll be honest.
No, I don't forget the
Wow.
movie night.
Wow.
I'll remember that I watched the movie with you guys, but I'd have to look up the list and see what we watched. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't stick in the memory.
Doesn't stick in the membrane.
We're not memorable to you?
The time we share isn't like
Well,
Look, I
folks,
just
you
forget
heard
the
it here
movies.
first.
I just forget the movies.
This
Like,
is meaningless.
No.
We're all
I'm
just
just
dust
saying,
in the wind
This
on the grand
movie-
scale of Josh's long and sweeping life.
This movie lacks impact. That's all I'm saying.
Cool, thanks, Roger Ebert.
Anyway,
Before we go, I do want to touch on Heather's idea that she forgets the movie but remembers that we talked about a movie.
I do.
What do you remember the conversation's about? Like, is it just the vague idea that we talked about something for an hour?
Do you just remember the Star Wars parts?
okay, hold on. Before you answer, Heather, I will step up to the plate and defend because I 100% understand exactly what you mean by
Yeah.
remembering the interactions with people and not the topic of the thing.
Yeah.
It's something that I 100% do.
Yeah.
Yes, but you realize this is also why she never remembers to tell you things. She remembers that she talked to you, not about what.
And I also have this problem, albeit to a slightly lesser degree. But
Look, it's a problem, and I'm working on it. Am I getting very far? No, but I'm working on it.
Progress.
paddling upstream with the strainer.
That's a new one. I've never. Is that
That's a Joshism.
straight
Oh,
from the
good.
dome, huh?
That's a
Good.
Joshism. Ding.
Oh man, I really don't want that to be the title of this episode, but it's really good.
Oh, I thought we could just like cut that piece of audio and insert it anytime Josh says something crazy. Like when like dogs just do what dog doing. Back in episode 2 Trick or Treat.
Oh man, I
Oh.
forgot.
Dogs do what
Uh-huh.
they're gonna
Did ya?
do.
I did.
That's a Joshism. Ding 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 ding.
Ah,
But no, in
you may be
terms of-
joking, but I'm really gonna clip that.
It's gonna be another one of our soundboard things.
Well, all 4 buttons are already taken, I think.
Nah,
We can replace
I
one.
think we got 1 or 2 left.
Do we? We have the intro, the outro, the laugh track, and something else.
It's applause.
Oh, it's a
And applause. There
It's
we
a
go.
no, it's not applause.
Oh.
It's a.
Oh,
It's the rim shot.
Rim
The
shot,
rim
thank you.
shot.
Boo.
We can get rid of the rim shot.
How else are we gonna like signify bad jokes? Silence.
You think Josh is gonna get up and press that button every time someone says a bad joke?
No.
Specifically me.
You're the one in front of it.
He's also the perpetrator of bad jokes. It's the perfect plan.
But Rachel, to answer your question, yes, I do just remember the Star Wars. Because Star Wars in particular has such a it's like played such a big part of my childhood that I just instinctively remember stuff about it. So whenever we talk about Star Wars stuff, I just remember that we talked about Star Wars.
Nerd.
And so whenever like there's movie night, I just remember like, oh yeah, we talked about Star Wars for this amount of time. Don't know where in the podcast it is, but it's there. And then I just move on. Everything else,
Incidental.
I remember I laugh a lot. That's it. Whatever we talk about,
Gotta watch you gotta listen to the podcast.
I gotta listen to the podcast.
Or watch them on YouTube, which they are on now.
Yeah. You check us out on Facebook and Anchor and Apple
Spotify.
Podcasts and Spotify.
I'm gonna sneeze.
You couldn't even.
And I knew it was gonna affect the audio. So I thought that if I said it, that it would help. I thought that maybe it would make it easier to cut around, but I did just interrupt in a different way, and I realized that now.
See, the funny thing is, I didn't like process the word sneeze, so I thought you said I'm gonna sneak, and then you just. So I'm like, I'm really interested to see what she's sneaking.
Oh man.
So Anyway,
am
this
on
has been HQ Movie Review.
I'm Josh.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Heather.
Good night, everybody.
That's a Joshism. Do-do, do-do, do-do.